Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have the example of what happens when you partner with Disney. Disney's MO, Disney's good old, let's blame everything on racism. Let's make sure that all criticism is silenced because it's clearly just racism happening. It has nothing to do with actual critique over the show. It has nothing to do with actual critique over the decisions made with the show. No. This is all about racism. We have a play that is as old as time itself, and now this same play is being used for Doctor Who. And we knew this was going to happen. This is why they hire actors of color, because they know that they're going to make the shows terrible. They're never going to write them the way that they should. They're never going to introduce these characters the way that they should. And then what ends up happening, you're going to just have a race shield. This is why they hire them, because it's the easiest thing in the oldest playbook. So we have an article here from Newsweek that says Doctor Who Christmas special sparks racist backlash. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that didn't take very long. We have a racist backlash article. I really, honestly, like at this point, it's not even really that funny. It's not even that funny because now it's almost sad at this point. Now it's at the point where you really can't take any criticism. You really will blame everything on racism. You are literally using black people as a racial shield. So let's get into this article, guys, from Newsweek. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button, man. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So it says, after months of waiting, fans of Doctor Who finally witnessed Ncuti Gatwa's full debut as the show's eponymous Time Lord in a fun-filled Christmas special, but not everyone is happy, with some viewers voicing strong opinions about the new iteration's race. The long-running British science fiction series sees the Doctor, a mysterious 2,000-year-old time traveler, and his companion's journey across time and space in a ship known as a TARDIS. Every few years, the Doctor regenerates, which is a biological ability of the Time Lords, a race of fictional humanoids originating on the planet of Gallifrey. This allows a new actor to take on the titular character without the show having to end. Gatwa, known for his roles in Sex Education and Barbie, is the 15th Doctor in a new series that has been reported $100 million cash injection from Disney. While the British show has been running on the BBC for 60 years, it is now streaming on Disney Plus outside of the UK, with Disney now a co-producer. Much-loved writer Russell T Davies is also back running the show, so fans have had high expectations. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Disney is involved in Doctor Who now. If you weren't aware of that, now you are. And whenever Disney's involved in something, all of a sudden, racist backlash accusations start coming out. Blaming the fans starts coming out. This is a playbook that Disney has used, tried and true, for many years now. And they do it because it absolves them of any guilt. They do it because it absolves them of any responsibility or accountability for how terrible their shows are or how terrible their movies are. Disney has perfected this playbook of blaming the fans, and now we're seeing another prime example of that with Doctor Who, which is sad because this is how far Doctor Who has fallen. Think about it. Think about the history of Doctor Who. Me not even being a fan of Doctor Who, I know just how historical Doctor Who actually is and how important it is to overall British culture, and now you're just seeing the demise of Doctor Who. It's really, really quite sad, and you're going to have people hold on to those threads. They're going to be in my comments. They're going to be like, you have no idea what you're talking about. You're just a hater. You don't like the show. If you don't like it, don't watch it, even though I've said in many videos that I haven't watched it, but they still just got to leave that comment because otherwise they're not going to feel fulfilled. It's one of those things where they're trying to protect the old guard as much as possible, even though Russell T Davies absolutely hates every single viewer that watches this show. He's just that kind of person, right? Anybody who lives in the leftist bubble that Ncuti Gatwa has openly said he was trying to make this version of Doctor Who be, it's very clear that they don't really care what the fans want. We've said this many times, and I stand by it. It says the holiday special featured the rerun of this new incarnation of the famous traveler facing up against a horde of goblins that want to harm Ruby Sunday, an orphan on a mission to learn the truth about her past. Gatwa, who takes his historic place as the first black man to assume the role and who also happens to be gay, has been praised for his performance by fans, but he also has faced unsurprising backlash. Has he really been praised? Because I don't really see many people praising him other than gay people. That's the only ones that I have seen praising Ncuti Gatwa and his role in Doctor Who. If they were really praising Ncuti Gatwa as Doctor Who, he would have some of the highest viewership of all the Doctors, but in fact, he has the second lowest viewership next to Jodie Whittaker. So is he really being praised? Not really. You, as Newsweek, made it very clear that you had to mention his race. You also had to mention his sexuality because those are the two things that he is relying on. Those are the two things that people like Disney, people like the BBC, they're also relying relying on? They're relying on the fact that he checks multiple boxes, and that's all you want to talk about. You want to talk about his race, you want to talk about his sexuality, and that's it. And of course, they need to have the first being mentioned, right? They have to make everything into a historic thing when a black person does it. Oh, this is so unbelievably historic. The first black man to assume the role of Doctor Who. This is a historic moment, ladies and gentlemen, in time that we will never forget. Guess what? We will forget about it. We absolutely will forget about it. It will go off into the wind just like everything else that they do for diversity, equity, and fake inclusion. It all just disappears. Nothing is ever timeless like it was back in the day where people have memories of things from 30 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. Nothing that's made today ever leaves that kind of timeless legacy, at least not in the Western market. Sure as hell not from British either. It's really, really sad what's happening. So it says, when a new actor is announced to play the Doctor, they are accustomed to criticism. This is because the show has a passionate fan base, with every fan having a favorite incarnation of the main character. So if that's the case, why is this racist backlash? Why is this backlash any different from the backlash that the other Doctors encountered when they all got changed because the passionate fans like the previous Doctor? Oh, because you have to make it about his race. I got it. You have to make it something different. You have to make it something special because you're a progressive. I get it. While most people quickly learn to love the new actor as soon as they watch a Doctor's debut episode, this year have seen racist and homophobic trolls crawling out of the woodwork. Some have taken to X, formerly Twitter, to criticize the BBC show for becoming woke propaganda. Others have lambasted Disney, accusing the show of now having the same woke issues of other recent Disney projects. Well, the thing is, it does. It does. It's very clear. Look at what you're doing. You're literally doing what Disney does for all their other projects. You're calling every single bit of criticism racist backlash because there's a black man in it. It's ridiculous. It says, RIP Doctor Who, ruined by BBC, who wants to turn a straight white doctor into a black gay doctor just to make it more diverse for the black gay community. Is that where our TV's license is being wasted on? Doctor Who was a white male from the start until you turned him a gay symbol, one livid viewer wrote on X. In the UK, a TV license is necessarily to legally watch or listen to any transmissions on television and radio. The cash raised from licenses is used to fund the BBC, which is commercial free. Someone tell me it's a P word, Doctor Who, a black doctor. Viewing figures 0. No offense, for fuck's sakes, but Doctor Who ain't black. That's it. Neither is he a woman. Got it? Make it so. Do as you're told, said another. I've never seen anything so awful as Doctor Who regenerating into a generic Disney Mary Sue hero who is exactly the same as every other character Disney destroyed. A third person wrote. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. A fourth added, my Doctor Who obsessed son has finally consigned him to the bin. Last series was rocky, but it's the woke that finally broke the spell. It's a pile of shit now, apparently. As usual, I didn't watch it. I think it's very clear that people are fed up, and you got to understand why they're fed up, and that's the issue. Companies like Newsweek, they know why people are fed up. They don't want to be doing this. They don't want to be doing this pandering shit, but their ESG requirements require them to do so. They also like the money from ESG, so of course they're going to do it. They don't really care about this social justice nonsense. They only write for their fan base, which is fine. You want to write for your fan base, that's all good. You have to market to who is actually viewing you, right? So the 10 people who are reading Newsweek, 11 if you count me, 10 out of the 11 are all probably left-wing progressives looking to find anything about racism so they can go virtue signal on Twitter about. Me, on the other hand, I'm just reading the article to get the story and give it out to you guys. But still, it's insane, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't know what else to say other than that, man. It's clear that Doctor Who is going down the shitter. A lot of people do not like what's happening with Doctor Who, and it's not, even if you want to ignore the comments, right? You want to pretend as if none of it's being said. You want to pretend as if every single person who is critiquing this show is a racist bigot. That's what you want to say. They're all homophobes. That's what you want to latch onto. No problem. So if that's the case, you mean to tell me half of the viewership was homophobes, half of the viewership was racist? So you mean to tell me when Doctor Who was pulling 10 million plus figures easily, now all of a sudden they're pulling anywhere from 3.5 to 5 million, depending on who's doing it. 5 million of those people are all just racist bigots? They're all just homophobes? Half of them? Really? Half? That's what you want to make us believe, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we know that's bullshit. We know that's not the truth. And we just know that at the end of the day, they have gone the way of the lazy route to rely on diversity, fake equity, and fake inclusion to tell their story for them instead of actually trying to write a good, interesting story that's going to entertain people without forcing the message down your throat. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.